Okay, YouTube land. Hi. Um, Here for my first time. This will be my first recorded video. Never done this before. I'm new to YouTube, so go ahead, like and subscribe to my channel. Um, my channel will be a lot about positivity for one. I think it's way too much negativity going on in the world right now that none of us have time for. So, it'll be a lot of my family. I have a husband, I have a daughter. It'll be just daily stuff, whatever's on my mind, whatever y'all want to ask, anything like that. But what's on my mind today is a sermon that my pastor had actually done on Sunday. He talked about how negative F's in our life can sometimes keep us and block us from positive F's. So the negative F's that he referred to were failure, fear, and frustration, and how allowing those to dictate our life, our spirit, how we move, can keep us from our positive F's, which is faith, favor, and future. So I found myself really grappling with that because as humans, we're emotional. We obviously have a tendency to sometimes work off emotion. That's just human nature. And a lot of what can go wrong or what can be done negatively can be done is a lot of it is out of frustration and a fear, um, and a fear of failure. Because failure, anybody who's successful will tell you that they had way more failure and they had way more bumps in the road than they had smooth turf. Anybody with any sort of success will tell you that. So today I wanted to go ahead and talk about how my negative F's have dictated me, and maybe somebody else can relate to that. So for me, I'm not a fearful person. I try not to be, or I try not to show fear, and I try not to be afraid. Um, I'm gonna say I try, but again, I'm human. But my biggest thing is the frustration. I can sometimes let frustration get the better of me and let it dictate how and why I make certain moves. Um, I'm 28 and um, I'm not where I want to be in life. I think I think your 20s is a lot of trying to figure this thing out. Is a lot of what does life mean? Where is life going? Where am I supposed to be? And and realizing and I was kind of thinking that because I'm not where I want to be that I'm a failure in life, that I've somehow failed even at just 28 years old with a future ahead of me. And that's not true. That's something I really had to come to terms with, being frustrated with not being where I want to be financially, with not being where I want to be professionally, with not being where I want to be geographically. I was born and raised in Chicago. I don't currently live in Chicago now, but I am still in Illinois. Um, but yeah, and just being frustrated with the state of the world right now. It is such a frustrating time right now. It is such a anxiety driven time in the world right now, especially in America, where we don't know if we're coming or going on the world stage, and we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. We don't know what headline is going to affect us. We don't know um, anything. What's up, what's down, what's left, what's right, what's wrong, what's hot, what's cold. I feel like we're being, as a people, being gaslit right now in this country, and that that I am afraid of. That I am fearful of. That does absolutely frustrate me. I'm married to a black man, and We live in a Republican county. We live in a not so diverse town. What does that mean for my husband? What does that mean for me as a wife? What does, the state of the world right now? We have to have those conversations. We have to have, tough conversations about, how to operate, how to move, how to not draw attention to yourself. And that's just being honest. And that causes me frustration. And of course, I'm fearful of what could happen today. What could, you just never know in this time. So I just think that a lot of what's going on in the world is causing us, and more specifically me, a lot of frustration. And failure is one of them. I didn't finish school. Um, I made it majority way through, and I wasn't able to finish due to financial reasons. And I just started working full time and just never stopped. I was the first person in my family to go to college, and I did not finish. And a lot of frustration that I have at 28 right now is because I feel like I failed my family. I feel like I failed, not necessarily in life because I'm doing okay. I would never, I would never say I'm not, but I know what I was supposed to be, and I know what trajectory my life was supposed to be on, and that just didn't happen for me. And maybe that was God's plan. By me ended up working full time. I met my husband. We have a great family. Um, so yeah, I, that dictated a lot of what I was feeling, and sometimes do still feel. When I have tough conversations with my parents, or with another family member saying, "Hey, what are you gonna do about school?" So yeah, um, where I'm at today with fear, frustration, and failure is I'm frustrated with being and doing and acting as if I don't have failures and I don't have fears, if that makes sense. I struggle with being a human being. I struggle with being a mom, a full time employee, a wife. I struggle with being a friend, with being a daughter, with being, um, just the day to day. In the past 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years, I can count on my hands and feet how many friends and how many relatives and how many, coworkers and what have you, I just let go. And what does that say about me? I know, part of growth and part of growing, everybody says your circle gets smaller as you get older, and that for sure has definitely applied to me. But at the same time, I find myself becoming more shut in and more um, not closed off because I'm not cold, but I don't. I hit a point in my life where it became hard for me to start caring again. It became hard for me to start trusting again. And if I'm honest, I'm not even all the way back there. That's just life. That was just, experiences. That's just things that I've gone through, things that I've seen, things that I've done, and things that have transpired with me, to me. And that's just being honest. Um, I think once I hit a certain age, and it was more so after I became a parent, um, I just had to start realizing and start being realistic with myself about what my life was going to look like going forward. Now that I know, especially because I knew my life was no longer about me. Um, and especially when I became a wife, I had to, and I am still trying to let go of certain selfish and alienating behaviors that I've just grown to emulate, and that's just part of my day-to-day routine. And I wouldn't say I'm failing at that, but my husband would say that I'm not where I should be, and that's just honest. I battled with a lot of adolescent and teenage angst. Um, going through, different phases of my teenage years of, um, different, just guys I liked, or, classes I took in high school. The actual high school I went to, I changed high schools after my freshman year. Um, my childhood friends, we all sort of separated in high school, so that was a change. Um, so, yeah, just a lot of things that I dealt with um, socially started to affect me in high school, and then it really sort of amplified itself in college. Um, I had some difficult roommate situations at times. Um, different guy issues, and financial is how I ended up not finishing school. And all of that led me to a point of serious, serious depression. I would say around age 19, 20, 21, I, I, I was drinking all the time. Um, I just wasn't happy with myself. I wasn't happy with where I was. I wasn't happy with what I was doing. Um, I wasn't happy with the friends I had in my life. I wasn't happy with, the moves I was making. It was just a really dark time. And then not too long after that, I sort of emerged on the other side of that. So, um, for me, my biggest takeaway from my early adolescent, early 20s was just just make it to the other side. You're going through, but you're going to make it to the other side. And I've kind of carried that mentality with me ever since. And in so doing, it kind of gave me the setup in my mind to where I could be, say I was driving down the street, get cut off, have road rage, anything. I'm really bad at that. I have awful road rage. I hate everybody who drives on the street. I do. I hate anybody who drives the speed limit, who drives under the speed limit, buses, trucks, trains. I hate them all. Full disclosure. Yeah, it was just frustration. I'm just really angry all the time. And sometimes it was unwarranted. It would just be, I woke up and it was too hot in my room, and I'd just be angry about that. Or I would just go and, scroll on somebody's page on Instagram and hated, that I didn't have the outfit that they had on, or I didn't have the money in my bank account, or, a lot of different things. So I'm saying all this to say, when my pastor talked about the negative F's preventing you from your positive F's, I really had to do a lot of self-reflection, which is kind of what brought me to making this video, starting this channel, getting the ball rolling on what I truly want. I work a regular 9 to 5. I'm not happy with that. I feel like there's more on my spirit to do than just be at work all day getting unfulfilled. That's just not in my spirit anymore. And I feel like if I could help, one person, if I could help, one situation, if I could just say something to lighten somebody's day, I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to do that. Because at the end of the day, that's what I want out of life. I want to help people as much as I possibly can, because I know without help, I would not be here. Without acknowledging certain things about myself, I would not be here. Without identifying certain truths and untruths about my character, I would not be here. So that's going to be the purpose of this channel. Um, will I say stuff to piss people off? Absolutely. Will I do things and, make statements that may be controversial? Absolutely. Will I rub somebody the wrong way? Quite possibly. But this is me. I'm going to live in my truth. I'm going to walk in my own path. And I'm going to hope that somebody agrees, disagrees. But we can have dialogue about it. Let's just talk about it. Because your perspective brought you to where you are. Something happened to you in your life, or you had some sort of experience that brought you to your life to form an opinion that you may feel that I may disagree with, but that's only because there was something or an experience in my life that brought me to that opinion. We could talk about that all day long. The positive F's, faith, favor, and future, are kind of where I'm at. I'm at the stage, I'm almost 30, where what is my future going to look like? What am I going to do? Am I going to continue to sit and work a job I hate? Am I going to continue to, live in a routine, work every day, come home every night, and do the same thing? My husband hates that about me. He hates routine. And me, I'm just that kind of girl. I wake up at the same time every day. I wake up at 5:45 every morning. I wake up, brush my teeth, take my shower, get dressed, go to work, come home every single day, Monday through Friday. So what's my future? What is this going to look like? Am I still fearful of of the unknown? Am I fearful of getting out of my routine? Am I fearful of what I could be because I have failed before? Am I frustrated, with what my future could be? And that's where my faith is supposed to step in. Faith is believing in what you cannot see. And I've spent the last 28 years of my life walking in a spirit of I don't know, so I'm not going to try. Walking in a spirit of procrastination, of putting things off until whenever. Walking in a spirit of why me? That's just not what I want out of my life anymore. Because I do know and I do accept now through my conversations with God the favor that I do have. Some of the things that I've been through has built me to a level of strength that that has, in my mind, has to be preordained, because only he would only give this certain battles that I've been through to his toughest warriors. So I know, so that is the definition of favor. So I have to continue to identify those certain aspects about me that I need to highlight instead of muting, instead of putting down, instead of no longer acknowledging the better traits of me. So going forward, this channel, like I said, is going to be about positivity. It's going to be about, what's going on in the world, talking to each other, working through it. I just feel like, especially in the minority community, we don't talk about things. We tend to sweep things under the rug, and that has to stop, because these babies are out here lost. And I feel really passionately about that. So, like I said, going forward, we're going to talk, we're going to chat, we're going to love up on each other. So yeah, welcome to my channel. Please do subscribe. And thanks again. Bye.